There's only one thing better than Keto Pecan pie. Guess what it is? Welcome to the Keto Baking Mechanic, where we create, tweak, and enhance keto and low-carb breads and baked goods, including authentic keto sourdough, my obsession and my business. Hi, I'm Shari MAC. I'm 64 years old, and I lost over 70 pounds 15 years ago doing a flexible keto lifestyle, not a diet. Oh, and by the way, if you get a chance, please check out my new YouTube store where I offer a line of keto dehydrated sourdough starters, authentic sourdough starters that are third-party scientifically tested, as well as a keto sourdough masterclass, and soon to be released a 5-minute 127 keto sourdough blueprint. So guess what's better than keto pecan pie? How about 90-second keto southern pecan pie squares that are actually healthy? Let's get started. Today, the first thing to think about is, do you want to add a crust to your 90-second keto southern pecan pie squares? If it's like pecan pie, you want to add a crust, right? So we're going to add our crust to our microwave-proof square dish, 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches. I added oil to the dish already so that the crust at the bottom doesn't stick. Okay, so I'm going to start by adding almond flour. We're going to boost the protein of the crust by adding 2 tablespoons of zero carb, zero fat protein isolate. You can also use protein powder. Just watch your macros, and I'm going to add that in there as well. And I'm going to put, in this version, the 2 tablespoons of butter in the crust. So I've got the butter, and I'm just going to add my softened butter right into the mixture. And I'm going to mix all that up. If it's a little bit dry and you need more moisture, you don't want to add more butter, so I'm just going to add some vanilla extract just to add more to the actual filling as well, but I'm going to add the extract to the dough for the crust just to give it a little bit of moisture. Oh, by the way, this is the most important part. Now, these squares are so rich. So we're making 4 squares, but you could actually divide the squares and make 8 because they are very rich. You're going to heat up our milk. You can use almond milk for the healthy version. You can use low carbohydrate cow's milk, which I love, the Fairlife, which is only 6 net carbs for a whole cup. So that gives you 5 net carbs right here. You can use pure cream if you really want to do a strict keto pecan pie square, or you could do a combination of this sort, or you can make them super rich and use coconut milk. But if you use coconut milk, remember, you're going to have some flavor of coconut in your pecan pie square. So you've got to choose. I'm giving different versions again in the recipe. Okay, so let's heat that up in the microwave for 1 minute. You want it hot without boiling because we're going to be adding chia seeds. Chia seeds in a pecan pie? Yes, this is part of the Keto Baking Mechanic part. We're going to try to mimic, with a healthy ingredient, that texture. It's called a butter curd or an egg curd that's inside of the pecan pie filling. Okay, so I microwaved our milk, and I'm just going to, it's hot. I'm just going to pour that into the bowl. And I'm going to add our chia seeds. You want this to be hot without boiling, so it activates the gel in the chia seeds. So I'll just put the chia seeds in there, give it a stir, and we're just going to let this sit for about, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. You'll know because the chia seeds will start to gel, and what you want is to have a nice thick gel so it mimics the texture and the thickness, the viscosity of our egg curd. Okay, so the chia seed milk mixture has thickened up quite a bit. You can just see it there. Look at that. Nice and thick. And now we can make the rest of the recipe. So we're going to add in here. Here's your choice again. You can add 1 whole egg. It won't be as rich. It'll be healthy because you've got the white and the yolk, or 2 egg yolks. The yolks are richer. They're higher in fat, but they add that richness to the filling of our square. So we're just going to add that in. So again, you want to make your choices according to your macros and what your goals are. So we're going to add that into our chia seeds. And remember, this is a egg curd inside of the filling, so the yolks really help that along. It helps to coagulate the filling together, and it gives that really rich flavor, and also the higher fat, which also helps as well. So I'm not going to be putting any butter in here. Normally I would if I wasn't having the squares with the crust, but we've got the butter in the crust, so I'm not putting the butter in the filling. Okay, next we're going to add our brown sugar sweetener. Again, if we're going Southern style, we have less sweetness because Southern pecan pie tends to be less sweet with toasted pecans. I'm going to put a little bit more because they just weren't sweet enough for me the last time I made it, which was using a 1/4 cup of the brown sugar sweetener. Remember, it's sweetener. It looks like brown sugar, but it's actually sweetener. So I'm just going to add that in there. Extract. Also, some cinnamon or nutmeg is good, whatever one you prefer. A little bit of salt, which helps to heighten the flavor. And lastly, we're going to add, and this is kind of non-negotiable, so you're going to have to choose. If you don't want to use this ingredient, xanthan gum, which holds the squares together, then you may choose to prefer to do it as mud cakes, because then you don't have to worry about them holding as squares. And you really do need this. The chia seeds give us the viscosity and the texture of the egg curd, but it doesn't hold them together. You actually need something to hold the squares together. So we're going to add that to the mixture. It's getting nice and thick. And in Southern style, we are going to add our pecan. Again, we'll add those in. Now for the top, I've got some whole pecans just to make it look pretty, and also some brown sugar sweetener on top so it caramelizes. So I've got the mixture and I'm going to pour it on top of the crust. So we're just going to pour this mixture in. Give it a little bit of a shake, and then I'm just going to add some pecan whole pieces on top so that each square, when you cut it, gets a piece. So you want to do those in 4s. So I kind of do 4 across. So each, again, if you were to cut this into 8 squares or 8 rectangles, then each one is going to have a nice piece of whole pecan on top. So I'll just put those in. And just for decoration, I'm going to add a few more in between. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to add our brown sugar sweetener on top, and I'm just going to sprinkle that over top of them. Oh, these are so good. If you are craving pecan pie and you want to stick to a flexible keto lifestyle, this is going to wet your whistle and give you that craving satisfaction in a healthy chia seed filling. Like, how can we do any better than that? Okay. So I'm going to pop this in the mic for 90 seconds. Again, if you don't want to use the microwave, you can put this in the convection oven, the toaster oven, or the air fryer for 8 to 12 minutes. Just make sure that you time it and watch it. You want this filling to set. Okay, here we go. Okay, look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? Oh my goodness, look at that. Beautiful. Let's just take a little bite. So the toastiness of the pecans comes through. For me, I do not taste the chia seeds because the pecans, there's so many pecans in it that it's already crunchy. Really rich. I love the cinnamon and the salt. Just offsets the flavors. Oh, I have to tell you, the more decadent you make this using the butter in the filling, using a milk with more fat. Remember, where there's fat, there's flavor. So if you really just want to eat a small piece and have it as decadent as you can, go for all the fat. Some of them healthy, some of them not so healthy, and have a sliver of it. If you want to eat more of the dessert, and have it be healthier, then you go with the other versions. And again, go to the recipe because you'll see all the different versions and you can pick and choose and mix and match whatever you like. Also, be sure to go to the playlist called 90-Second Keto because you'll get a whole bunch of these 90-second keto recipes that you can do in the microwave, the toaster oven, the convection oven, or the air fryer. And they're single servings, which makes it so easy. So, bon appetit!